Kaino and Carly are going to be with us today. Kaino is going to just contact Clarence real quick just to make sure our connection's okay, and then he'll jump in. So we're going to work today on core stability and a little bit of balance. So it'll be a little bit more of an active class than normal, but we'll still have time to relax, stretch, all that good stuff. So when you're ready, go ahead and grab your mat. And we're actually going to start on our backs today. So whenever you're ready, come down, knees bent, lower all the way down. And you're going to take your belly, draw it in towards your spine so that low back is just glued down to the floor. Let your knees drop in towards one another. And you're going to heel toe your feet out about the width of your mat if that's comfortable, or stop wherever is comfortable. Again, just keeping that low back glued down to your mat. And you're going to place your hands on your belly. You can do both hands on your belly, or one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, whatever is most comfortable. Tuck those shoulders underneath your back. And then when you're ready, allow your eyes to close. And let everything go. So if you're clenching your legs, or your jaw's real tense, or you feel some tension up into your shoulders, just take a deep breath and let it all go. Just relax completely onto your mat. And starting always with some centering, just allowing the day's activities, the to-do list, all of that melt away. I'm actually going to sit up while you guys are on your back just so you can hear me. And let's take that focus now in on our breath. Starting to elongate each inhale, each exhale. Filling your body with air, and then letting it go. And you can even imagine your body as a balloon. So think of each inhale as filling up that balloon, slowly, fully. And right when you fill that balloon up completely, you pause, hold that tip, take a little sip of breath in, and as you exhale, allow the balloon to deflate so all the air goes out. And you're going to keep with that the whole time. Continuing your breath. Out. Keep breathing. Some technical difficulties, so keep relaxing. Okay. Just making sure. Perfect. Sounds good. All right. And allow this relaxation to take you through your practice, the breath to carry you throughout the next hour. We're going to be working on some core stability today, a little bit of balance. So again, just a little bit more active than normal, but it should feel really good to move your body, and then we'll wind it down at the end with some nice stretches. So when you're ready, you can start to open up your eyes, and you're going to allow your knees to open up. Walk your feet in, so your feet should be about hips width distance. That low back is still down towards the mat. And we're going to take a rolling bridge. So shoulders still tucked underneath the back, hands now flat onto your mat. And as you inhale, slowly lift your hips, low back, mid back, all the way up to the top. Hold, and then lower down slowly. Upper back, mid back, low back. Let's do that again. So inhale slowly up, feeling each part of your spine. And exhale, begin to lower all the way down. So do that a few more times with your breath. Just making sure that you're taking nice long inhales, nice long exhales. And you want to almost imagine like there's a block or something in between your legs, so the inner thighs are still squeezing towards one another, so your knees, your shins stay parallel. And once you've done that one more time, inhaling all the way up, go ahead and pause. Take a few breaths here. So glutes slightly engaged, hips lifted, but try not to strain your body here. Still allow some relaxation to be present. And then when you're ready, slowly lower all the way down. And you're going to keep your belly drawn in, and you're going to raise your legs up. So shins are parallel to the floor, feet flexed, knees towards the ceiling. And resist bringing the knees in closer to your belly. Let's keep the knees in line with the hips. Belly's pulled in. As you inhale, drop your heels down to the mat. As you exhale, lift up. Inhale down. Exhale up. 4 more times. Inhale and exhale. Down and up. Use that core for these last 2 times. And last time, down and come back up. So keeping your knees in line with your hips, we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to add another element to it. So as you inhale, you're going to straighten your legs. Exhale, bend. Allow your heels to touch down. Come back through center. Straighten legs. Bend and down. So doing that a few more times. Again, making sure that core is engaged and you're using your breath, going slower than you want to go. You guys look fantastic. Just keep the breathing. Once you do one more full session, go ahead and stay with your legs parallel, knees bent. You're going to wrap your hands underneath the backs of your thighs and give yourself a little rock a few times up and down your mat, and then all the way up to a seated position. So once you come to a seated position, nice and comfortable, easy cross leg, inhale, arms are going to come up towards the sky, palms touch, and exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Interlace your fingers. Take the palms of your hands down towards the floor, and inhale, flip your palms towards the sky. So relax the shoulders down the back, little bend in the elbows, give yourself some space. Little breath here, belly still in. And you're going to take your hands and you're going to make a little hammock for the back of your head. We'll do some seated cat-cow. So as you inhale, lift that chest up. Gaze looks up. Exhale, pull belly in, elbows come down. A few more times just like that, opening up through the chest. And exhale, rounding through that upper body. Further, just warming up the spine. And still using that core. Back through center. Hands flip up one more time. Get a nice stretch. And then release your hands down. We're going to transition to all 4. So come to tabletop, hands and knees. Belly still draws in. Knees in line with your hips. Hands in line with your shoulders. Draw your belly in. As you inhale, you're going to lift your right leg behind you. Toes point down, hips are level. You can stay there, or you can lift opposite arm and further testing that balance. And your hand's going to be straight out in front of you, thumb up towards the sky, almost like you were shaking someone's hand. Yeah. And drawing in that belly, staying there, or you can begin to pull everything into the center on your inhale, and on your exhale, back through. So 2 more times just like that. Inhale, exhale. Last time. And then release, pause for a hold. And then release your hand, knee comes back down. So we'll do that on the other side. When you're ready, inhale, that left leg's gonna lift behind you. And think length through the back leg. Probably tuck that left hip down just a little bit. Yeah, perfect. This is where I like to flex the foot because knowing that the toes are pointed down, it helps dial that hip down. Staying here, or you can lift that opposite arm. Test that balance. And then you can use your breath to flow. So inhale, bring it all in. And exhale, release out. 2 more times. Inhale in. Exhale out. Last time, pull it in. Exhale, release. Pause for the inhale. Feel length from the fingertips all the way down to your foot, and then let it drop down, coming back to your tabletop. From your tabletop, you're gonna walk your knees back slightly, and then walk your hands out all the way until you are on your belly. And when you arrive, uncurl the toes, press the tops of your feet into your mat. Your elbows are gonna squeeze in towards the mid-body, hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, baby cobra. Slight lift, keep this really light. The pelvic bones are pressing into the mat, shoulders are back, gaze looks down and forward, protect your neck. And then release. Do that one more time. Inhale, baby cobra, just a little lift. Navel's engaged, pulling in towards the back. Shoulders relax, elbows pulled in. And release. You're gonna tuck your toes behind you. Keeping on your knees, you're gonna bring yourself back through tabletop and then all the way to child's pose. So toes are curled under. You're getting a stretch now in the backs of your feet. Just pause for a few breaths. You can invite some movement if you want to wag the hips a little bit from side to side. How are you guys feeling? we're just beginning.
Yeah.
When you're ready, you're going to come back through tabletop and then slowly lift those hips up and back for down dog. So let's pedal it out. Let's add a little movement to the legs, working on loosening up the hamstrings. Take any movements that you need to feel really comfortable. When you're ready, you're going to allow your heels to drop down towards the mat. You're going to push your mat away so there's a nice long line from your back. Drop the head, perfect. Look straight. Really just let your head drop a little bit down, yeah. It just releases any tension in the back of your neck. Take 2 full breaths here. And really feel yourself pushing against that mat so the tailbone lengthens up towards the ceiling. One more breath. And then you're going to walk your hands back to your feet, coming to a forward fold at the back of your mat. And same thing when you arrive, bend the knees, allow some space to happen, still warming up the backs of the legs. You can do what Kanoa is doing just by ragdolling. You can stay in stillness like Harley, whatever you need, whatever feels good right now. But I do suggest keeping that bend in your knees. So again, we're still just loosening up the backs of the legs, getting rid of some of that tightness. When you're ready, release your hands if you've grabbed onto opposite elbows. Inhale, half lift. Hands are going to come to shins or upper thighs, lengthen through the back. Gaze looks down. Belly draws in, release down to your forward fold. Inhale, arms circle up overhead, palms touch at the top. And exhale, hands down to your heart. Looking down at your feet, make sure they're about hips width distance. Keeping your hands at your heart or grabbing your hips, you can bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, again, drawing belly in, begin to raise up the balls of your feet. Finding a focal point here, maybe a little micro bend in the knees. Just focus on this balance. Notice if you're shifting yourself a little back too far, a little front too far. Use that core engagement to find that center, that place where you can focus, breathe, and find the balance. Let's take one more breath. And then as you lower down, hands are going to come to the sky, breathing in and breathing out. Hinge from your hips back to your forward fold. Inhale again, half lift, straighten up through that back. And exhale to release. Walk your hands out, coming towards or to a high plank, or lowering your knees down for support. And testing your strength, keeping those knees lifted, using that belly. Gaze looks out in front of you, long line from the crown of your head all the way down to your heels. Breathe in and lower on a 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe into cobra again, maybe this time straightening a little bit more through the arms. Nice little back bend, and then release down. Curl your toes under, press yourself away from your mat and up to your downward facing dog. Take a big inhale in. Big exhale out. On your next inhale, raise your right leg back behind you, coming to three-legged dog. So same concept as what we did when we were in tabletop, keeping the foot flexed, dialing that hip down. Again, it's not so much about the height, it's about the length. Breathe in. As you breathe out, step that right foot forward. Nestle your left knee down to the mat for your low lunge. As you inhale, you're going to lift yourself up. Exhale, fingertips come towards the sky. Inhale, allow your hips to drop slightly. And then exhale, release your hands down. You're going to lift that back knee up. Give yourself a little rock. 1, 2, and 3, step back to your downward facing dog. Hips high, we'll take that over to the other side. So as you inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Good, you guys. As you exhale, step that left foot forward, coming into your low lunge. Drop that back knee. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale all the way up. Let the hips drop. Release your hands down. And you're going to lift that back knee. Give yourself a little rock forward. 1, 2, 3. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here. We're going to do that again. I know we're kind of moving at a faster pace, but just try to use your breath. So as you inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, pull that knee through. Foot lands at the front, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, hands high. Inhale, drop your hips. Exhale, release your hands. Lifting that back knee. A little rock forward and back for 3 counts. And then step back, downward facing dog. Next round, inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, step the left foot forward, lower back knee. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fingertips high. Inhale, allow the hips to drop. Exhale, release down. Lift that back knee up. Take a little shift forward and back. And then back to downward facing dog. Take a full breath, inhale. And exhale, allow your knees to drop, come down to child's pose. Just take a moment here if you need a drink of water. Go ahead and grab that. We're going to do that standing sequence. We're going to add a little bit more to it. Whenever you are ready, just meet me back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, that right leg lifts up. As you exhale, step your right foot forward, keeping this time that back knee lifted. So high up on your toes. When you're ready, you're going to bring yourself up to a high lunge. Take a breath. Feel nice and grounded. And then as you exhale, draw your knee down. Hands come down to your chest in prayer. So you'll take a little bump here. 1, 2, 3. On 4, you're going to step forward, lifting the knee, grabbing on toward your knee. Draw the belly in. Take a breath. As you exhale, step that foot back, coming back into your crescent lunge. Inhale, hands high. And this time as you exhale, drop your hands down. You're going to lift that back leg up. So toes point down, similar to three-legged dog. Long back. You can come to your the tips of your fingers to give yourself a little bit more space. So you're in a variation of Warrior 3. Take a breath. As you exhale, drop back to your lunge. Hands come high. Exhale again and step back to your high plank. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lower all the way down. Inhale, coming through Cobra. Exhale to release. This time, curl your toes under. Inhale, up to high plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Great job. Take a breath. We'll do that on the other side. So as you inhale, lift your left leg back. Exhale, step the left foot forward. When you feel grounded, raise your body up to your high lunge. Hands are going to come down to your center. And we'll take 3 little dips. So 1, 2, 3. Step that knee up. Grabbing hold of your knee. You can test your balance by keeping your hands at your heart. Just realized I think I did the same leg, but whichever. Just do an opposite leg of what I said if that's where you're at. It's always so hard when I'm mirroring and teaching. Take a breath, and then step back to your high lunge. Fingertips high. Exhale, release down. And then shift your weight forward, coming to that supported warrior 3. Still trying to balance those hips, toes point down, leg is long. And back to your high lunge. And then exhale, release down. Come back to your high plank. Your choice, lower your knees or lower yourself all the way down as slow as you can go. Great job. Inhale to cobra. So you can go a little bit deeper, shoulders back, nice job. Exhale, release. And then come all the way back up to your downward facing dog. Looking good, Lynn. All right, we're gonna do that again. We're just gonna step it up just a little bit more. So when you're ready, inhale, right leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Take a breath, step that foot forward, and you feel that nice foundation come up to your high lunge. Hands come down to prayer, knee bends for 1, 2, 3, step that knee up. Test that balance. Staying here. And then taking your foot, we're gonna come to tree pose. So you can either come to the upper thigh. So if we can come to the upper thigh, inner thigh. It can come down to the calf. Or you can keep the toes on the ground, your left heel will be at your ankle. And feel free to kind of pick and choose between what feels comfortable. If your foot is up in the upper thigh, really press against that thigh. I'm falling over, there we go. We just want to avoid hitting that knee joint. Take a breath in, find that focal point, and find your balance. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, let that go. Use your breath. Bringing that knee back up. You're going to step back to your high lunge or crescent lunge, fingertips high. Let's take a second here, breathe in. As you breathe out, we're gonna step that foot back behind us in our variation of warrior 3. You can stay here, or maybe you lift fingertips off of the mat, further testing your balance. Step back to your high lunge, hands high, and then exhale, release. Come back to your high plank or supported plank.
Standing up.
Sorry. Lower all the way down. Inhale through cobra, and exhale to downward facing dog. You're just trying to skip your foot.
Yeah, you're backpedaling. Like, where are you going?
All right, we'll take that to the other side. So when you're ready, inhale, leg lifts. Breathe in length. Exhale, step your foot forward. Inhale, high lunge. Continue that breath as hands come down to your heart. And bending your knee for 1, 2, 3, lift. And then decide if you want to grab onto your knee or keep your hands at your heart. Again, fully just testing that balance. If you fall out, it doesn't matter. Get right back in. Take your breath. And then decide where you want your tree to be. So upper thigh, calf, or foot on the floor. And know that your balance can change from day to day. It can be different from the right side to the left side. So try to give yourself a little grace here. It's not so much about making sure it's perfect. It's just finding that balance, that breath, that stability, and knowing that yoga is a practice. So some days are going to be better than others. That's why we keep coming back. Keeping that focal point, that breath. Knee comes back through center. Step yourself back to your high lunge. Inhale, fingertips high. Exhale, release down, lift that back leg. Level off your hips, maybe testing the balance. Lifting those fingertips off of your mat. Keep breathing, belly draws in. Exhale, release, come back up to your high lunge. Release your hands down. Let's take a flow. Step back to high plank. Lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale through cobra. Exhale, release. Draw hips back for child's pose. So hips to heels, forehead down to mat. Take a little breath. So hopefully we're building a little heat. You're feeling a little fire. We're going to do that standing sequence one more time before we start to wind things down. This time, again, just adding a little bit more of a challenge if you want. So when you are ready, join me back for downward facing dog. Press your mat away, fingertips spread nice and wide, hips towards the ceiling, belly in, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step your foot forward, coming into your low lunge. When you're ready, raise up, high lunge. Hands down to your chest, bending your knee. 1, 2, 3, and then push off, raising that leg. Find your focal point, belly draws in, and then come to your variation of tree pose. Free to try something different or move it around, whatever feels good. Keeping your hands at your heart or raising your fingertips up towards the sky. Move those arms, bring your hands back through prayer. You can keep them there, or if you want a little bit more stability, bring your hands to your hips. We're going to bring that right knee back up. And this time, as you inhale, you're going to tip yourself forward and then bring that knee bring the leg straight behind you, coming to full warrior 3. So again, trying to keep those hips as level as possible. Foot flex, toes dialed down. I'm like a tongue twister today. Hands can stay at your hips or bring them down to your sides. Hands can come to prayer. And you can also take that variation where hands are down on the mat. Take a breath. Then release back into your high lunge. Last time, arms reach up. And exhale, release down. This time, step right back into your downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step your foot forward. Use that midline, that engagement, that energy as you bring yourself up to your high lunge. Take a breath, allow the hands to come down to your heart. And inhale, exhale, 1, 2, 3, step forward, knee lifts. Staying here, finding that center. I know this is hard. And then decide where you'd like your tree pose. Continue your breathing. Keeping your hands where they are, raising hands up. Hands come down, maybe to your hips, or they stay at your heart. Bring that knee forward, and then coming back to your warrior 3. Great job, guys. I find it helpful if on that standing leg, there's a little bit of a bend. Gives you a little bit more support to lean forward. Again, a lot of core work, so really drawing that belly in. And I also like to think of my foot as like a suction cup. It's glued down to the mat, but there's this nice lift in the arch. When you're ready, come back to your high lunge, breathe in. And exhale, release down. Step back to your high plank. And then lower all the way down to your belly. Great job, you guys. The good news is it's nice and relaxing and hopefully easier from here. All right, so we're gonna work a little bit on our back. So keeping on your belly, you're gonna bring your hands one on top of the other and your forehead down on top of the tops of your hands. So gluing those hip bones into your mat. As you inhale, you're gonna lift your right leg up. Hold. And lower. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Hold. Lower. Let's do that again. Inhale, right leg lifts behind you. Release down. Inhale, left leg lifts. And down. Next breath, you're going to lift both legs back behind you. Nice. Take a breath and release. One last time. Both legs lift. And you can decide if you want to stay there or reach your arms out in front of you. So you're getting that nice opposition. Upper body lifts slightly. Gaze looks down and forward. Great job, you guys. Breathe. And release down. Take your hips a little bit from side to side. Shake it out. Drop one ear to the mat. And a little bit of a release there in the neck. And then staying on your belly, you're going to take your arms to cactus arms. And deciding, let's go ahead and do the right ear down onto your mat. You're going to draw your left knee towards your left elbow. Just stay here in this stretch, getting that nice release. As we're starting to wind everything down, just turning back into that breath. Especially in these stretches, poses where we're not doing much, there's not a lot to concentrate on. This is when the breath is the most important. When you're ready, you come back through center and then just take it to the other side. So left ear down, right knee towards the right elbow. This always kind of reminds me of like one of those chalk outlinings. I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, exactly, like a crime scene. Right, that's my yoga.
If we don't make it any session, you should just draw an out print of us
Yeah,
on the ground.
exactly.
Like in the last scene.
Last scene doing yoga. All right, come back through center. And you'll bring yourself back to child's pose. Nice stretch there in the back. And then inhale up to your knees, hands come to your hips. Take a little back bend above the chest gaze. And then draw yourself back down. And we'll come to transition to a seated position on our mat. So feet down on the floor, knees bent. Hands come underneath the legs. Inhale, tip yourself back slightly, coming to supported or modified boat. So your choice, you can keep your toes pointed, feet flexed. Really draw that belly in, shoulders relaxed down your back. Staying here, or maybe you let go of the legs. Fingertips come out in front of you. Keep knees bent. You can begin to straighten the legs. Just further testing that core, that balance. Hang in there, almost done. And then bring it in. Release the feet down. And come just to relax your upper body over your knees. Bring yourself back up. You're going to straighten your legs in front of you. Bring your hands slightly behind you. And fingertips are either going to point towards your body or away. It's just your preference and what feels most comfortable. As you inhale, you're going to lift your body up. That legs are straight. Feet come down towards the mat. Really lift through those hips. Nice stretch in the front body. And then slowly release yourself down. And then bending your knees about halfway. You're going to reach yourself over, grabbing onto your feet or ankles. Doing that little counter pose, counter stretch. You can keep your knees bent or begin to straighten out the legs to your comfort. Long spine, belly towards thighs. This would not be a balance or core stability yoga class without a few little sit-ups. So we're going to do some yogi sit-ups. So soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Hands come underneath the head. Draw your belly in. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold. Lots of engagement in that core. Breathe in. You can raise that upper body just a little bit higher. And release down. Bring the knees in. Take them a little bit from side to side. And then draw the knees in towards your chest. Hug your knees in as you rock a little bit back and forth, side to side. All right, hands come underneath your bottom. You're going to straighten up your legs. Toes, again, either pointed or flexed, your choice. As you inhale, begin to lower your legs down. Stop as soon as that low back begins to lift off of the mat. And exhale, bring back up. A few more times. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. 2 more times. Last time down. And back up. Pause here. And then bend your knees. Allow the soles of your feet to come down onto your mat. Let your heels walk closer to your glutes. Fingertips reach towards your heels. Tuck the shoulders underneath your back. We're going to do that rolling bridge like we did in the beginning of practice. So as you inhale, lifting the hips, low, mid, upper back. And exhale, upper, mid, lower, down. Breathe in. And breathe out. Two more times. And on your last time up, hold. Bridge pose. You can stay here or interlace hands underneath your back. Getting a little bit of a deeper stretch in the chest. And then release all the way down. Knees draw in. Again, giving yourself a little rock from side to side. Feet down on your mat, arms come to a T or cactus, whatever you have room for, whatever feels good. You're going to take that right leg, take that right foot over the left thigh. resting here for a few breaths. Nice stretch here in the hips, staying here, or you can begin to take your twist, allowing that foot to drop down towards the floor. And your gaze can stay up, or you can take your gaze over your right shoulder. When you're ready, come back through center. And we'll take that right leg down. Left foot over right thigh. Few breaths here. Seeing a little bit of a release in that hip. And then slowly taking your twist. If you wish, allowing that foot to come down towards the floor, looking out over opposite shoulder. We did a lot of work today with our core and some back work, so hopefully this is a nice release. And then come back through center. And then draw knees into chest one last time. Give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze, drawing everything up and in. Big breath. And exhale, let it all go. Legs long down on your mat, arms beside you, coming into final Shavasana. And finding those little last wiggles, getting them out of the way. Feel grounded on your mat, let it support you. Let your breath slow, close your eyes. We'll have a few minutes of silence. Try not to skip this part, it is important. So allow yourself to relax. I will bring you back shortly. As you lay here and allow yourself to relax. Remember, often it's this moment that can be the most challenging, when we take the time for stillness or just sitting with ourselves. That's why this opportunity to seal your yoga practice is so important. It allows time for that release, that letting go, the reflection, that time that you need for yourself. And like today, working on balance, that's a big thing in life. It's a big part of yoga. It's finding that time for yourself, to take care of yourself, amongst all of the other things that you do. But carving out this time is really that being said, you can stay in your Shavasana if you need a little bit more time, a little bit more relaxation. Or you can begin to invite some movement in your body, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling out wrists and ankles. And give yourself a full body stretch, so arms reach up overhead. Take that breath in, fill your body up. And as you breathe out, take your body to one side, pause, no rush. And mindfully, when you're ready, bring yourself back to a seated position on your mat. Once you arrive, let's draw the arms up overhead, palms touch at the top. And exhale, bring hands down to the heart, bow your head, soft gaze or close your eyes. Sealing in the end of our practice, thank you so much for joining me tonight, for being a part of this evening, for sharing your energy together and through the screen. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks, Lynn.
Have a great night.
Woo.
See you soon.